So this video is going to take you through this simple strategy I teach all my students. It's going to take 8 minutes. It's going to be your Thanksgiving strategy saver. It's going to allow you to eat all the foods that you want to have and not lose momentum over the holiday season. You guys need to understand that the average American from November 1, the day after Halloween, to January 1, puts on an average of 12 pounds. It's super easy to do with obviously leftover Halloween candy, corporate Christmas parties, family, Thanksgiving weekends, and all the other things that are normally occurring anyways. Here's the simple math for you. There are 3,500 calories in 1 pound of body fat. So a simple piece of pecan pie can be upwardly up to 500 calories, and most people are like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. So let me take you through this. Most people are looking at like Thanksgiving Day and then the day after, but what we're gonna do and how we're gonna strategize this is not only on Thursday, but we're gonna look at the damage done or the damage not done between the Monday prior and then the Monday after, and we're gonna make our plan regarding to this 7 days, not just on Thursday. Okay, so let's start looking at the math. Let's say your calorie intake, like for my baseline, is 1,800, but we're gonna work with the 20% variance, which is gonna give you an additional 360 calories. Take 360 plus 1,800, leaves you with like 2,160. So that's gonna be my target for Thursday, is to navigate 2,100, practically 2,200 calories for that Thursday. Now, the secret to this, just to create a buffer, just in case for some weird reason that I tend to deviate, what we're gonna strategically do is on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to take an additional 100 calories off of our baseline. So instead of me doing 1,800 6 days, we're gonna do 17, 17, 17, 2,160 on Thanksgiving, back to 17, 17, and 17. This is gonna create a balance throughout that 7-day period. Most people aren't thinking about that, looking at the whole thing. Okay, so step one, you're gonna list out all your favorite foods that you know that you want to have. These are start with dessert, because everybody loves dessert. So everything from the meat dishes to the side dishes to the beverages, especially if you drink your calories, and then also the desserts, start with those first. On special occasions like this, we're not gonna be so rigorous. We're gonna introduce a little bit more flexibility. From a macro standpoint, we're not gonna look at that. We're just gonna look at overall calories for this specific day on the holiday of Thanksgiving. And you can do this on your birthday, things like that. All these special occasions introduce a little bit more flexibility, but then we're right back to it the day after, and also obviously the days leading up to it. Step number 3, once you have all your foods and quantity sizes put in, then you can go and look at where we're at, and then you can start to make those adjustments to your serving sizes to be more friendly to hit your number. If you're like, oh my gosh, this is way too much, start to take off. If you're like, oh my gosh, I actually have more room than I anticipated, you can actually increase the amounts that you have or add to it with another dish. And finally, once you have the actual Thanksgiving meal inputted in, you can then go and look at the breakfast and dinner, depending upon what meal that you eat your Thanksgiving at, and then you can start to plug in the other meals. Obviously, there's gonna be a little more lean, a little bit more lighter. Professionals tips, so when we're eating those desserts, it's like for pie, for instance, this is how I teach my students. Use a spade, this is a marker, but make sure that you're actually using a spade for the pie, and that's gonna be your measuring device for the actual slice of the pie. So we're talking about a piece of pie, not a piece of pie. Accuracy and precision is still going to psychologically satisfy you, but it's going to keep you within that expectation. Use the tools. Additionally, if you have a food scale and if you have measuring cups, utilize those. You're probably going to get looked weird at from your family member and friends. That's okay. Again, these are your goals, not theirs. So use the tools available that you have.
All right, guys, so let's talk about this. So my base goal is 1,800 calories. So if I do a 20% variance, that's going to be an additional 360 calories, which will give me a target of like 2,160. Give you context. I already pre-programmed out, and we're gonna go take a look at the food journal, already pre-programmed out the foods that I wanted. I also went and pre-programmed out my other 2 meals, and this is where it has me at about 2,658, so which is about 500 calories over I need to now go and adjust accordingly. So let's go take a look at the food diary and see what we have. So going to actual Thanksgiving meal. This first Thanksgiving meal is calculated out. I have 10 ounces of turkey breast, 3 tablespoons of gravy, a roll, pecan pie, 1 cup of sweet potato casserole, 1 full cup of stuffing, which was super surprising. It is mostly bread, but it's 300 calories. And then 3 deviled half eggs. So I programmed lunch in first. Then I went ahead and did leftovers for dinner. I did 4 ounces of turkey breast and then another half cup of stuffing. That's 316. And then for breakfast, all I'm gonna be doing that day is a Premier Protein Shake, which is 160. So this is before I make my adjustments. I did my Thanksgiving meal and then my other 2 meals, my leftover meal, my breakfast as well. And this still has everything in here from the stuffing to the pecan pie to the bread to everything that I would want to have and still be psychologically satisfied. So now my job is to make adjustments because I'm at 2,600 and I want to get closer to 2,100. So all I'm going to do, what foods in here can I go without less and or without at all? Well, I don't want to go without it. This is Thanksgiving and I want to enjoy it. So instead of just removing a food, I'm going to do is adjust them. So instead of having 3 halves of a deviled egg, I'm going to adjust this to 2. Instead of having a full cup of stuffing, I'm going to adjust this to 3/4. Instead of having a whole cup of sweet potato casserole, which this is 628 calories, I'm going to adjust this to 1/2 cup. That's going to knock off 300 calories. Now, here's a good point. I want to show you guys this. This is a verified entry. That's what these green check marks are. And people will be like, well, I make my sweet potato casserole this way, or I make my pies this way, or blah, 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 blah. Just for general purposes, I go and just find a verified entry and I select that one. I'm not going to be nitpicky. 1 roll, 3 tablespoons of gravy. I'm going to take this down to 2 tablespoons of gravy. And those are my adjustments. So my lunch went from, I think, 21, whatever it was, down to 17. And now I'm at 2,197. So that's the high end of my variance. This is going to be good enough for me. Protein shake. So here's my plan. Protein shake for breakfast. 10 ounces of turkey. 1 roll. 1 piece of pecan pie. 2 deviled egg halves. 3/4 cup stuffing. 1/2 cup of sweet potato casserole, 2 tablespoons of gravy. Then dinner is leftovers. We're going to do turkey and dressing again as well. I may throw on some gravy, but we'll see. But this is how you guys are going to do this. Now, this is for Thursday only, but you reverse engineer the food that you want to have, make those adjustments after you have that awareness, and then build it out. And then we're going to be looking to see where we're at on come Monday morning.
Okay, that's how you do it, guys. This is only going to take you 8 minutes. Go through that. If you're actually having any trouble with this, you can comment down in the comments section and I'll be able to help you out on that. So happy Thanksgiving, good luck, create some boundaries and expectations, go crush it, and let's get a head start on 2024 rather than waiting to January 1 like everybody else. Talk to you soon. If you've gotten any value out of this, or even if it made you just think in a different perspective shift, go check out more of our stuff. We have a free Facebook group. It's called Free Fat Loss Tips Inner Anthem Academy. That's Free Fat Loss Tips Inner Anthem Academy on Facebook. We got over 2,000 members in there right now currently. You're gonna be able to have additional strategies that are gonna help you along your journey too as well.